Let us remain in the area of science, but just for a while. The sign of Jonah. If you read Matthew's Gospel, chapter 12, from verse 38 to 42, you hear Jesus telling the people, this generation is an evil generation, is looking for a sign, but he won't get any other sign except the sign of Jonah. Because just as Jonah was for 3 days in the belly of the fish, so the Son of Man will remain for 3 days in the belly of the earth. Luke, that we read today, chapter 11, from verses 29 to 32, says Jonah is a sign. But a sign to the Ninevites of God's presence and judgment. Mark chapter 8 verse 12 says, Jesus said simply, this is an evil generation looking for a sign, but it will not get any. And he left them and walked away. When you read the Bible, God speaks to you. But be careful. Often you will need help to understand the various meanings of what you read. There is a limit to self-help in our relationship with the Word of God. But why did I say, let us remain in the area of science? Now you can see that the sign of Jonah is not the same thing in Matthew and the same thing in Luke. I think in science, in chemistry, you have what you call polyvalency. A polyvalent atom, I think, is an atom that reacts with more than 2 molecules. If I no get them, I no worry because I no be scientist. And also in art, you have polyvalency. An image may have various valences within a picture or a work of art. The same way you can talk of polyvalency of signs. Every sign is polyvalent. It has different applications and it elicits different reactions and is open to various interpretations. The sign of Jonah. Jonah has more messages than one. Jonah has more meanings for us. Matthew tells us he is a sign of the time Jesus would spend in the belly of the earth before the resurrection. But then he would rise. Just as Jonah started a new life after the 3 days in the belly of the fish. By the way, one biology teacher was explaining to little children the anatomy of a fish, especially of a whale. And he moved from that explanation to the Bible and told the children that what they were reading in the Bible could not have been true, because the throat of the whale was so narrow that a human being could not have passed there. A little girl raised up her hand and said, well, sir, don't worry. I know Jonah was in the belly of the fish. When I go to heaven, I will ask him how he was able to pass through that narrow throat. And the teacher says, okay, supposing Jonah is not in heaven when you go there. The little girl answered, then, sir, if Jonah is not in heaven, he will be in hell, and you will have to ask him, because that's where you're going.